Okay, that part worked.
Excellent.
All right, great. Let's get started. Your first task will be converting an implementation of a priority queue data structure from Java to Python. You'll do this one with AI support. Your second task will be converting an implementation of a try data structure from Java to Python, and you'll do that one without AI support. We'll also take a break between the two tasks since the session's 2 hours long, and a break is usually appreciated after the first hour. First, let me tell you a bit about this code translation task. The task is to produce a complete and working Python translation within 30 minutes. Excuse me, 30 minutes. By complete, I mean that the functionality and documentation of the Java code should be translated over into the Python file. And by working, I mean that the Python code should be tested for correctness. We're not providing the test. You can do whatever kind of, simple informal testing you want to try and convince yourself that you've got a working thing. If you get that far, not everybody does.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, there's more work to do to accomplish an absolutely perfect translation that what can be done in 30 minutes. So really, I'm asking you to just do as much as you can in the time you have. But there may be trade-offs in how you spend your time, such as whether you choose to translate all of the functionality first or translate a portion of it while testing to make sure it works. How you navigate this trade-off is completely up to you.
Okay.
There are a few other things I should mention about this task. You'll be using an online version of the VS Code editor in this study, which has a few minor differences from the desktop app. Are you familiar with VS Code?
Yep.
Okay, good. In general, all the menu commands and keystrokes are available. It should just work, but please do let me know if you encounter any difficulties. I won't be able to answer any technical questions about the code or what it's supposed to do,
Okay.
but I can tell you the Java implementation is correct. That's a working implementation. When you make the translation, please try to preserve the naming of the class and method names, but we're less concerned how you name the variables.
Okay.
You can also use whatever resource you feel would be helpful, such as searching on the web or Stack Overflow, or running any of the code, since we've installed Java and Python in the editor.
Okay.
I'll give you a 5-minute warning when time is almost up, so you can know to start wrapping up your work. And you won't be surprised when the end comes. We also ask that as you work on the tasks, you think out loud and tell us about what you're thinking and what you're doing. This helps us understand how you're approaching the task, what you're thinking about as you do it. If you're quiet, I'll remind you to think out loud. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
Okay. So, I'm going to ask you to share your screen. Oh, you are on your VPN, right?
Yes.
Okay, good, because it doesn't work otherwise. Okay, so if you can share your screen, that'd be great. And what browser do you normally use?
I've got Brave up right now, but I've got a selection.
Okay, I think this works in Brave. We've seen it with Chrome and Safari, no problems. With Firefox, there's like a little 2-step exception that it warns you, but we can get through that too. So you can try whatever browser you want.
We'll give it a go with Brave and then switch if necessary.
All right, so task 1. In this task, you'll translate the priority queue data structure from Java to Python with the help of an AI code translation system. This system is able to automatically translate code from Java to Python, but it's not a perfect system. So the translation code may contain errors in it. We use the system ahead of time to create 5 separate Python translations for you, which you'll see when you open up the editor. So the different alternative translations, it's not sure which one is necessarily the best one.
Okay.
How you use these translations to help you complete the task is entirely up to you. For this task, put your solution in the priority queue.py file. So there's one blank file for you to put the solution in, and then 5 alternative files. I'm going to take the link and put it in the WebEx chat,
Okay.
and you should be able to see that. Open up the
Yep.
the link in your browser.
And are you interested in? Yep. So here I am in a VS Code.
Okay, you're not sharing your screen yet.
Right. So I was going to just ask, do you want all the screen, just the tool that I'm using?
Well, if you can make it as big as you can, and let's just see what it looks like, so that in the recording, yeah, maximize the right. Okay, so you got a big screen. Is there any way you can zoom that in a little bit so that we can read the text better?
Okay. So yeah, I'll. That doesn't help. So I will. Better? Worse?
Yeah, yeah. If you can go even a little bit more than that. All right, and that now if you can make the window as big as you can, because it's kind of small in the recording.
And
What's that? Oh yeah.
and there we go.
Okay. Okay. That looks great. Okay. I am gonna start the timer now. You've got 30 minutes, and I will be taking notes.
Okay.
So I'll mute. But if you have anything you want to ask me, besides like, you know, how do I code this, I'll be happy to answer your question.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting the timer
For sure. Okay. So I'll do the think out loud thing, just taking a look
now.
at our
Thank you.
Java code. Q, okay. Okay. Got a general idea of what the code's all about. And we'll go from here. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to start here. Yeah, this will work. We'll just we'll do standard pattern here. So ourselves an empty list. That'll be our actual implementation, similar to the array list in Java class. Start with some of the simple ones. I think this is what I need to do. This is where I would actually have to now go and perhaps just go check. Yeah, all right, we'll give that a good go. Let's just take a quick look here. Yeah, okay, I'll take a cue from the this example here.
You can use
Yeah.
as much of any of the examples, or any combination of the examples as you want. Transfer them in. You can also split your screen with that little split symbol on the upper right corner.
Up right corner. Okay, hang on a sec here. I'm gonna have to move you. Oh, there we are. Sure.
Might be useful.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That'll do it. Let's just knocking off the easy ones here, right? Size, peak. I guess one might call them the atomic operations. I'd have to go look and see what the actual Python convention is. I tend to like camel case, but that's because I was a Java programmer, or actually a C++ programmer from back in the day. But
Yeah, I bet the same problem.
yeah, exactly. I think they like, what is it, snake case?
Yes.
I believe it's there might be a primitive to do this, but that'll do for now. Yeah, okay. Enumerate, peak, MP, just knocked out hopefully the easy ones. Okay. And then we'll just go, I suppose we should probably do this here. I suppose it's cheating to just go and use the Python implementations of these things.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Oh no, I mean no, no. I'm sorry. I thought you meant using the Python implementations from the AI generated code.
No.
Yes, it would be cheating to use the Python implementation of a priority queue that's built into the language.
Yeah, well, it's I'd have to actually check the version, right? But there are in the advanced collections, they have priority queues and double-ended queues and all those good things.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not what we're looking for.
No, exactly. Although I guess that would be the really smart thing. So I'm going to leave templates for these. I believe that's the one, yeah. Size peak. Oh, okay. 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 That one seems relatively easy. Oh, we want to copy. Okay. Do you want to know when I'm going to go and look stuff up?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. Yeah, Python list. If there's a copy or what the function is for that one.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So q.copy. Turns out there is a native for this. List copy. Yeah. Okay. Never quite recall. And then Python's also tricky, that depending on the implementation you're using, between Python 2 and Python 3, and yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Add all and heapify are what I'm looking for here. Okay, that's a pretty simple one. Third item. Okay, and this is, what's the convention here? I think this is it for convention for private functions. Index. Do that for now. Okay. Now we'll just start tackling these. And just while I'm at it, I'm going to make sure that I'm using length correctly. Again, I'm trying to recall if Python lists have a native size, or if you use the length primitive list size. Or as it turns out, if I'm thinking about NumPy. Oh, that's len. Okay, cool. Naive method, yeah, that would be me. Oh, okay. Yep, nope, len. Okay. I think I got the relatively easy ones, so now I'm just going to start on translating these here. I'm also going to have to go check member attributes in Python classes. I tend to use it more as just a scripting language, so I don't actually write a lot of classes. I'm curious, the self reference seems appropriate, but I'm not sure if I'm remembering something else like, say, JavaScript or at this point, I'm just really doing as best I can. Straight translation. Did I insert it? Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this is comparable. Okay. I'm going to ignore the stuff from the templating and just assume that the queued items are indeed comparable. We don't need that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, to be honest, I'm very focused on this task. I'm not sure if this is the AI enabled one. If anything's actually happening to me. If there's a distance in here, it seems very subtle.
The AI the AI help you got was those other files.
Oh, okay.
That's all there is.
Yeah, okay.
It's not gonna jump up and start talking to you or anything. It's
No,
like
no.
those are the translations that it did itself.
Oh, okay. Might as well do this. Is there a no? No, 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 no. Does Python have a concept of no? I think it's nothing. None type. There we are. That's it. Return none. Self.q. Okay. Okay, just looking at the set function here. Yeah, okay, so. Okay, yeah. Equals self.q index. Okay, just to save myself. Python reference class attributes. This is where I got to go do. Okay, behind the scenes. I just want to see if that I have to do this reference to self all the time in my class. I suppose a quick compile is going to tell me, or some sort of a test, but here we are. I'll just look at Python 3.9. Holy crap. We'll look at the language reference. And I'm just looking here.
What are you looking up exactly?
I'm just looking up if I really need to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, self.data. I'm just seeing examples here in instance objects, class and instance variables. Okay, cool. It's not obviously stupid to continue doing this, so we're going to just continue to do that. Oh, and there should be a way, if I remember correctly. Again, I'm going to see if there's native functionality to remove an element in a Python list. Yeah, okay. List remove. Oh, how do we do this? I think I can do it with slicing. Or is it del? Yeah. Okay, let's go see what the AI came up with. Yeah, so it's on Python list. Okay, I remember to do that. self-heap index, self.heap.remove. Okay. I'll take its word for now. And it just turns out, having looked at that, right, you've got to return, include the reference to the instance. Again, I'm going to presume that this translation is correct. And let's go back to my Java code. Heapify. Okay. Okay. Enumerate. Okay, that one's just everything. So I think we're good there. At all, we're good. So I think really all I need to do at this point is implement the Heapify. And again, having pulled from the AI, so this was self again. See, this is already helpful, this AI. It's me all the basic syntax errors that I'm making. Okay, so we'll just implement the Keepify algorithm here, or function, or what's this called? Anyways, if len dot again. Why not? Equals index times 2. I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to end up with off by 1 errors here. Just I got to recall the Java arrays, or does Java indexing start at 1 or does it start at 0? I think it starts at 0 because it's got C-type heritage. Okay, parent equals self.q. I know Python doesn't require this, but it's almost automatic that I put parentheses around conditions. Index. Then okay. Right at index less than size, and I'm glad I'm not being asked to actually remember how to implement a priority queue. Every once in a while, I'll go and I'll do, some of those hacker rank type things, what have you, just to remind myself that I can do this. But it's always a bit of a climb.
Sure.
Okay. We're getting to the point now where we start running some tests and identifying all my syntax errors. With the index. Yeah, I think that's how we do it. Do we know that the AI translations are correct? It's a bit of a, I'm making that assumption. Are they like, they will function? The AI translations?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
They are imperfect translations. They might even have syntax errors in cases.
Okay. Okay.
Usually the syntax is okay, and if it makes a mistake, it's it's a runtime mistake.
Yeah. Okay. Just wondering how much I should rely on it.
Were you just looking at one of the AIs? I missed that.
No, I wasn't. I
Okay,
was just
okay.
more,
Okay.
as I max index. Oh, it's heapify. That's why.
All right, that's 5 minutes to go.
Okay. Okay, so I've actually got the bulk of the code. Well, all of the code. Okay. Python exec and terminal icon not found. I just want to do a trial compilation.
Right. You can just push the little green arrow in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, what I see is coming up here. Python exec and terminal icon not found. Do you see that?
I don't see that. Where is that popping up?
It's at the
Maybe
bottom
you're only
here.
sharing your browser, because I never saw you like look at any documentation or anything.
Well, I'm sharing the one browser window.
Command Python exec and terminal icon not found. Oh, well, that's not good.
Now, if you'd like, I could, like I've got several versions of Python installed. I could share.
This has worked on all the previous times I've tried it. Just hit the button one more time. Make sure it's not just one of those glitchy things. No. All right. Let me get that down, because I should python.exec and terminal.
Okay, now we've got something going on here. It's disconnected, attempting to reconnect.
Huh.
I'm going to say that this is a unique circumstance.
I have not seen anything like this before.
So your guess is as good as mine as to whether we reload, dismiss, or reconnect now.
Try reconnecting now, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just, I'm going to make sure that my VPN hasn't crapped out. Nope, still going strong. This is weird. This looks like,
Now it looks like a network issue.
well,
Or
yeah,
like
but
maybe
this
the server disappeared on us or something.
yeah, and like this, because it's all decorated, looks like it's from the VS Code environment.
Right.
I'm going to say that because then it means that it's nothing I did likely.
No, I don't think it's, I think you're the victim, not the perpetrator.
If there's such a thing as an innocent perpetrator, that'd be me.
No, we're not. Trying to get us some technical support.
Sure.
Technical support's in Argentina, and I think he's having lunch. Okay. Are you? Can you open a terminal and just try running the code? I mean, you've only got like a couple of minutes left anyway. This isn't working.
If I could, because I could fire up VS Code locally and have a go, but I can't.
Yeah.
Without the connection, I can't select it to copy and paste.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd happily do that.
Right, and you probably can't get to the file because.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it's saving to my local environment.
All right. Have you tried just refreshing the browser? Yeah, I'm okay going on to the next task if that's possible, but it may not be possible.
Well, if it uses the same environment, it's probably not,
It's
right?
a different link. Yeah, let me try that. Actually, let me try the link that you're going to right now. Oh, well, that's a drag.
Okay.
And you got like 90% through everything.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if it actually works.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Not on the first try, I guarantee that.
Yeah, I guarantee. I can already see there's a couple of errors I've made, but oh, well, this is interesting. This is probably really tiny, but you see up here, I have this icon to install code server. Although that wouldn't explain why this is.
No. Here, let me
It's
go
worked to this point.
Because I had checked the link before. Well, of course, it was working for you too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It just dropped out in the middle.
So the link was working earlier today, and up until right at the moment it stopped working. All right. Find the link. It's right about here.
So without an environment, I can walk you through what I would do with, oh, we're back.
Yeah, and I got in also.
So should I continue? Okay, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, do a file save on that priority queue.py.
Yeah, I've done that.
That's in the hamburger menu. On the left side above the, yeah.
Yeah, I've been using the keyboard shortcut, so.
Oh, okay.
Should I?
All right. You know what? I'm gonna give you another 5 minutes. You know, so you get the full time.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
So I'm going to drop this into, because the Python thing is still not working. All right, if I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to drop it into a local VS Code environment. Oh, that's what. Okay. And I can share that with you if you'd like, or I can just talk about what's going on. Okay, so at this point, oh, where'd my source go?
All right, looks just like the old one. Yeah, okay, I am looking at the old one, aren't I?
Let me share that then. Brave browser. I'm just going to share this whole screen. No, okay, that's not going to work. Share content. There. Can you now see?
I'm still seeing the old.
Okay. It says you're sharing two applications. Maybe I need to
let's see.
drop that on there.
No.
I'll move this over here.
Okay, yeah.
Now
I
you
see.
can.
I think I see the new one now.
Okay. I'll just again try and. Okay, so I don't know where it went. I just I probably accidentally closed it. But anyways, new file. Okay, I'm just going to paste this code.
That is invisibly small for me.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure. How do we make it? I'm not familiar enough with VS Code. How do I make this bigger?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that either. Let me see if I can just Google it quick.
Appearance. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, okay, that's readable.
Okay. Okay, so I just went and did a quick, run this code, starting to suss out all the syntax errors. And clearly, my class definition, not the most auspicious of beginnings, but let's just go look at. Hi, this is where having the AI piece would be helpful. So if I switch back and forth, does that like screw you up?
No, I can see both of them.
Okay. There you go. Don't def a class. Part of this, of course, is I'm looking at Java, so I'm starting to think Java, but then.
Right. That's the key difficulty in translation.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Okay, that's bizarre. So apparently I've managed to code this with a single syntax error. Alrighty, so So I'm just going to do a quick I'll call it a test suite. I wouldn't call it that, but 2. Because my assumption was that I've got, comparable items in some sort of priority order. So we'll just throw in some integers and then print PQ dot enumerate. Believe that's going to work for me. 1325. I suspect I'm missing in my insert that I needed to heapify this thing. So we'll go back to my append item.
Which file are you looking at now?
So now I'm back into the coding environment and why am I looking at, thank you for that.
I'm not supposed to be helping you. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I'm checking that my code is correct by checking my code. So,
I guess that's what confused me.
yeah, no, I could see that. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So what do I got here? So I've done an incomplete translation, I think, of the get the parent index, get the parent. The parent is less than the item. Index equals parent index. Aha. Well, at least it didn't blow up, so that was cool.
Okay, I think probably.
Yeah, we're probably done.
Yeah, I guess our time is up. I would ask that you take that final version and mail it to me or Slack it to me or something, since it's not the version that's on the server.
Right. Well, I can
make
because I made the 2 adjustments, right?
Right. Yeah, so if you just save that and transfer it to me at some point.
Well, sure. Or, so I took this out and in the insert, I added this line. Oh.
Okay, so you're saying you've.
Yeah, I've made 2 minor changes, so we'll just give you this version.
Okay, that's fine.
Since I'm not sure if it actually, and I added my test case. Do you want that as well?
No, that's all right.
Okay. So it's in the environment.
Okay, good. If you can save that to make sure. I think it saves automatically, but I don't trust.
Yeah, and I did the keyboard thing, but let's just, there we go.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. That has not happened to me before. It's been really solid. It looks to me like maybe they bounced the server or something.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. What happens if you hit just out of curiosity, what happens if you hit the run arrow again now? Like, will it still give you that same error? Yeah, it does. Okay, so that's probably going to happen to us again.
I got my VS Code at the ready.
That has worked for me and for other subjects up until now. So we'll be looking into that before we run anybody else.
Yeah, no worries.
But let's go ahead with the survey. I'm going to put the link to the survey in the chat.
Okay.
And if you could fill that out on screen, that would be good. You can close the debugger unless you want to be able to reference.
I've got it in the VS Code environment. So of course I'll go back and see if it worked or where I went wrong.
All right. I want to see if I can see your survey. All right.
Okay,
It's again, it's kind of on the small side. If you could zoom in on the browser, Command plus or
200%.
Yeah, good. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
the
think this
window's
was
small
AI.
too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the window's that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, super. Perfect. Great. Okay, if you can talk your way through any thinking you're doing about how to answer these questions, that'd be good too.
Yeah. So just to confirm, P6, this is the
Yep.
AI and
Yep.
priority queue. Okay. Guess I'll agree to the privacy policy. How mentally demanding was this task? I don't know. It felt low end. I don't know exactly what the exemplars would be, but low end. How hurried or rushed was the pace of the task? That's more of a personal thing, but I didn't feel particularly rushed. But then again, I didn't feel there was a lot writing on it, so how successful were you in accomplishing what you were asked to do? Well, time will tell, but I figure I was pretty close. I'm also an optimist. So how hard did you have to work?
Just to check
Oh,
on
sorry.
that one.
Yes.
Perfect. You said pretty close, but you went on the that particular scale is kind of reversed from the other ones. So
yeah, you've inverted the scale on me. So I'll say I was pretty close. No actual evidence to back that up, but why not? How hard did you have to work? Yeah. How hard did I have to work to accomplish my level of performance? Again, sort of on the low end here. Man, from 1 to 20. Okay, that's somewhere down there is about right. How insecure, discouraged, irritated, stressed? Not at all. Think a function of setting. Please describe your overall approach. Okay. I'll just do this in bullet form. Translate simple methods first, followed by more complex methods. Fully translate the class, and then test for syntax and semantic errors. And that was my approach. How I allocated your time. So I think that's pretty obvious. Fully translate the class first, and then test for syntax and semantic errors. That pretty much says, I think, how I spent my time. To what extent do you feel you understand how the Java implementation of the data structure works? Having looked at it, I'm going to say somewhat. If I spent more than 5 more minutes actually looking at it rather than just translating the code. Oh, hey, why? Um,
Cool.
Yeah. Not like it was a complicated class of any kind, and heaps are not exactly foreign. Would you characterize the quality of the there's I can't really answer that. Yeah, I checked the one translation for, essentially syntax reference, and to just kind of gut check my implementation approach, but I can't assess the quality. Matter of fact, I only opened, I think, one or two of them. So
you probably have to answer something, and then under the why, explain.
Yeah. Okay. Middle of the road.
Yeah, right. And then make it clear that you're really not evaluating them because you didn't really look at them. I think that's fine. But I don't think it'll let you go on without selecting something.
Yeah. Okay. How did the quality? Okay.
Yes.
Again, no basis of, I really didn't evaluate that.
Right.
To what extent do you feel the provided translations were useful? Okay, they were, I think, somewhat useful for that. Helped you complete the task. Again, somewhat helped you didn't look at, taught you something new about Python. No. Had errors. Again, I can't really evaluate that, but not at all. How did you feel that the provided make the work in this task difficult versus easy? I'll give them a +1. How did you slow versus fast? Not really. How did you feel the provided of the, sorry, how did you feel it made your work in this task of versus of the best quality? Oh, okay. I'll just carry through my +1. What did you find most useful about the provided translations? Check of proper Python syntax and native operations. What did you find least useful?
I think it'd be fun. Well, I probably shouldn't prompt you for what to say.
Yeah,
So.
well,
Yeah, that's fine. You
yeah,
didn't use them much, is what I was thinking.
I had no expectations for them, so they were as useful as they could be. Were enough translations. Sure. What additional could we have provided alongside to make them more useful? I can't evaluate that. Would have been nice to know that these were the questions we wanted answered. I would have gone about this differently. For the following work conditions, to what extent would AI supported code translation be helpful? Okay. This is weird, but okay. Slightly helpful. I suspect if I had 15 minutes to accomplish this task, might have been more helpful. You know, it's when working alone, depends how you define alone. There's always Stack Overflow in Google. Again, slightly helpful. Again, slightly helpful. I think if I was using these as more of a reference rather than what I did, which was just do the brute force translation, I might answer these differently. Sure. Because you could use them almost as a task-specific Stack Overflow where you kind of cut and paste implementation. But it feels like it was cheating. Again, when working on experimental or prototype code, sure, maybe moderately. Well, again, yeah, I guess I should really just set my expectations differently as well. My expectation was that the AI piece of this was going to be a bit more active in some way. And so I somewhat resisted using, although again, simple class, I'm not sure I would have made great use, but now that I look at the questions, an example, a better approach might have been take the AI code, run it, see what happens. I feel I fundamentally misunderstood what you were looking for. Maybe I'll just be that outlier of, and this guy didn't get it.
You understood what I said to you in the beginning, so it's on us if the instructions we gave didn't lead you to the place we wanted you to be.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to say these. Again, these are very hard to evaluate because I really didn't look at it, right? So
yeah, no, that's fine.
If I'd gone through and sort of tested the AI code, I might have a more fully formed opinion about these, but this would be bad. I would agree with this. Right? So if you gave me, I don't know, Haskell or something, and then you had a translation into a language I did know, that's going to be, yeah, that would be helpful. This one would be less so. How useful would each of these kinds of AI models be for real code translation? Well, okay, these just seem somewhat self-explanatory. For 10 lines, per 1,000 lines, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I wish I could do one error in 1,000 lines.
Yeah, exactly, right? For 100 lines, again, depends on the nature. We're probably close to 100 lines on this small class, depending how you want to count them. But that looks like a reasonable answer, right? If I could do one per 100,000, for sure. No, I'm not. Okay, fantastic.
All right. Do you want to take like a 5-minute break or something? Because of the snafus, we're running a little bit behind. Do you have a hard stop at 2? Or whatever the next hour is for you?
Yeah, my next hour is, 1. Okay, yeah, you're Eastern time. No, I think I'm good. Let me just check for certain. I'm kind of getting into this. Oh yeah, no, I'm fine.
Okay, so you want to take 5 minutes and meet back here at like 1:17 or something?
Sure.
I'm just going to leave the recording going if we're just going to take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, okay. Are you going to get up and walk around, or we'll just stare?
I'm going to get up and walk around, yeah.
All right. See you in 5.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
No? All
Okay.
right. There we go. I can hear you.
All right. Ready?
I am ready.
We'll get right into it. I think this one will be very familiar to you on account of it's the no AI task, and that's pretty much how you handle the AI task. So it'll be even easier. And
Yeah.
the survey at the end will be
Okay.
much smaller because we won't be asking all those questions about how much the AI helped
Yeah.
you. Okay, so I'm going to give you the link. In this task, you'll translate the try data structure from Java to
Okay.
Python, and
Okay.
you'll do this without the AI support. So this is another data structure. Are you familiar with try, T-R-I-E?
It's familiar. I couldn't tell you what it is now.
Yeah, it's it's something you can store strings in it, and it stores them sort of in an overlapping tree of characters.
Okay.
Internally. So
Yeah.
you can put strings in, take strings out.
Okay.
Okay,
Alrighty. I got a
so
link.
yeah, uh, and I just verified that that link was working, and it would even run the code. I I put in a hello world.
Oh,
Okay.
look. Yeah. Okay. Challenge accepted. Okay. So once again, I'm just going to close the chat
All right.
here.
Well, let me start the clock. Whoop.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Where's my clock? Oh, there it is. All right. Starting the clock. Let's go. Okay.
Let's have at it. Okay, so we'll just do a quick review. Boy, okay, hash map. We're gonna have to go look up the. Oh no, that's just a. Okay, we're cool there. Yeah, okay. The tree-like structure. Man, okay, this one's bigger. All right, let's have at it. It's funny, after having gone through the last one, I'm reminded a guy, former IBMer, used to work in a lab in Toronto, and he was talking about they were doing usability testing. Oh, I gotta do this works better. And this was back when floppy disks were floppy. And they were watching as a user going through some install instructions, and it was you were taking a floppy disk out of an envelope or a sleeve in the manual, but it had fallen out or somehow come loose, and so the person being tested, has this floppy disk, this plastic floppy disk, and the instructions clearly say to remove the disk from the plastic sleeve. And he says the recording, you can clearly hear the observer saying, "Oh no, he's going to do it," and the guy just reaches in and pulls the disc out of it. That's what this sort of reminds me of. So this is just an empty dictionary. I think we can do that. Yes, I believe we can. All right, and oh, sorry, what am I working on here? Try. Oh, okay. Nice. And here I was just going to go do my own. And repeat the same mistake from last time. Okay. Okay. False. Okay. Okay. Seems an easy one. And a word, not world. How do I keep remembering to do this? I think it was Smalltalk that introduced this whole concept of that you're referencing self. Never seemed to make sense to me, but that's again, you come at it from C++ or what have you. A little less object oriented or a little less pure. Okay. Delta root equals Rhinode. Okay. Learn from my last time around that these things are potentially not as complicated as they might be, as I might think they are. So I'll just kind of blast through them. Equals self.root. Okay. This is one of those things where the AI piece might be helpful, as I would be curious. I'd have to go look up this Java construction for this for loop. I'm going to guess this is like a for each, but I'd want to double check that one. For C in Word. Yeah, I think I can iterate over a string like that. Okay. That one I'm going to have to go check on. I'm not clear. C. Again, this is a piece, I'd have to go refresh my Java. I'm not quite clear on what this is doing. Function apply. Okay. Oh.
Did you look up compute if absent? I didn't see that happen.
I just did a quick look. So this
Okay.
get children.
When you look stuff up, I don't see it, so it doesn't show up on the screen. So just if you said that out loud.
No, sorry, I was confused. I was thinking that what this is going to get children is returning a try node. And then this compute if absent, which is not. So yeah, okay, here. It's a method on hash map.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to go, I'll just talk through it. Yeah, but I'm going to have to go look up what that actually does. There we go. So I'm just reading through hash map compute if absent just to figure out what that is. Compute value for a given key using the given mapping function. Key is not already associated with a value or mapped to null. And enter that computed value in hash map, else null. Mapping function of this method return. Okay, yeah, again, this would be something where now that I understand, having done the first exercise, I would probably go check to see how's the AI translated this, because trying to read and comprehend this under pressure is challenging. Mostly because I'm looking at this and I'm going, why am I passing a custom mapping function into my hash map class? But what I'm assuming it's doing, compute of absence, so I think my function is just essentially, so I think what this is doing is it's actually going to insert a new try node if the letter is not currently in the hash map. And if I'm trying to recall, I believe there's a Python method on the dictionary. Python dictionary return default. I'm just doing a quick Google. There we are. So I got to call the get method. L, and then what this will do equals probably yeah. So I'm just looking up the get method on the dictionary class. Yeah, there we go. So this is the default value. So this should, I believe, give me the equivalent capability, right? So I'll get the and I want C. Get the current character. If it's not there, I'm going to get a new try node. Okay. And current. Okay. Okay. We'll go with that. Oy, okay. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a recurring theme. Man, this is like data structures 206 here. Okay. Word length. Okay, I think again, we're just iterating over the characters in the word. So there, and equals current get children dot get. Okay. C. If node. Okay, then we're just going to return false. It's weird. I recall that these kinds of returns in the middle of a loop was a big no-no when I was taught about how you do programming, and now it's just de rigueur. But again, I'm gonna have to go. I would have to go check. I think I can do a comparison to none like that. Python, if I recall correctly, is otherwise. Okay. Oh. And again. Okay. Moving on to the delete. Okay, def delete. Learn to type. Okay. This is interesting. Again, I'm gonna have to go check. Can I do Python class method overloading? I'm not sure I can do that. So that's right now. I'm just onto the Google Python class method. How do I use method overloading in Python? Onto Stack Overflow. And the answer is, yeah, okay. In Python, you do it all in one function. You can't have two methods with the same name. Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, so I'm gonna have to rename that one. I'll just call that delete at. Current, so that's going to be self.root. This would be another one. I'd be interested in how delete at. current word, and what do you want to call this? Index. I'm trying to preserve the variable names just so that as I go through and do my translation, it should be easier. If index again, len word, then if not, again, this is not really Pythonish. I think I can probably just do, that should be fine. Okay, turn. We're just going to see if it's going to return a, again, I'm just going to go check here. If the Python dictionary has a native is empty. Otherwise, I can just do the yield n equals 0. And just quickly reading a Stack Overflow entry, checking to see if the dictionary is empty. You know what? I believe this will work. Okay. Okay, is this under the if? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. Again, I think I can do this. Yeah, okay. Okay. Node equals current. Yeah, I keep doing this parentheses thing. Another that I would have to go check and see if I can go compare against none that way. I believe so. Okay. Delete at node word index +1. Okay. That's not going to do it. I don't know why Python went for these. You explicitly write out your Boolean conditions. I really like the operators, but yeah, should delete current node, then the leave dictionaries have a, okay, interesting. Yeah, I see what this does. Get children. The more I do this, the more I think I should be doing some more Googling to figure out if there's an empty or something like that on dictionary. But this gets back to some of the questions. If this was code that only for me, I probably wouldn't care that much. How am I on my indexing? Yeah, okay, I'm good. Def. Gar. Why do I believe? Okay. Okay. So I'm getting a list of strings. Enumerate. Oh. Okay. I'll just be consistent. I don't know if this actually. Okay, gonna have to go again, Python, just to check. Python concatenate strings, string concatenation and formatting. I'm trying to recall. I think you can just do sort of, plus character. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Okay, what am I have? Root and entries. I'm somewhat presupposing that what this is going to do is it's going to iterate through the try and build out all the strings that are stored within it. So that's def entry, node. Need more screen real estate here, but more screen real estate. Okay. Enumerate at. How are we doing here? Oh, I feel like I'm getting close. Again. Current equals node. We'll append it. See how that works out. Append entry. I'm just not clear. I think if I append strings to a list, that's going to work fine. I might have to extend the list instead, but you know what? I'll just check it out in when I do the implementation. Okay, keys. Or children. Key set to array. So again, I'm going to have to go and Google Python dictionary get keys. Pretty sure there's a look, and here geeksforgeeks.org, get dictionary keys as a list. That's exactly what I want. There we go. Bet you the AI would have known that. Yeah, okay. So that's exactly what I want. And keys.sort. If I remember correctly, there's a primitive to do that. Or
that's
key.
5-minute warning.
Okay. I'm not going to see if this one runs either.
No, you're getting close.
Plus equals key. Yeah, I'm going to need more time to test it though. Entry, current, get children, key, and entries. I think I'm almost there. Entry. Okay, so something in the algorithm. Okay, somehow it must be tagging a character on the end. If I remember how to slice this. I believe that'll get me what I want. Basically take that character off the end. Again, I'd have to go test the implementation. Hey, we're almost there. Okay. Entries equals other try dot enumerate. Alrighty. Well, now, hey, we actually get to go see do something. I'm gonna.
Let's see if that works this time.
Oh yeah. Hey, look at that. That worked. Invalid syntax. Yeah, because void is not a Java thing. Okay, well, so obvious structural stuff is there. So let's try. What are we calling this? Try. Quick, come up with some words. All right, so let's just do a and try dot enumerate. This is where we start getting into, you know, test coverage and fun stuff like that. But let's see. Try has no attribute insert. Find. Okay, what have I done? Try object has no. Oh, I wonder. Okay, so this is again back to Python instantiate instance of class. We got to be close to time here.
No, you got about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is where I start and go fight with my Python. I think I'm reasonably confident in my translation.
That's the timer.
Arr. All right.
So close.
So close. Well, hard to say. I could discover a boatload of
Yes.
errors.
Yeah. It looked pretty good to me. I mean, not that an error couldn't escape my notice, but yeah, it looked like that was a high quality translation. Nice job.
You're, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Save the file, please. So yeah, we'll
Yes.
go over it later and analyze in detail.
File save. Okay.
Super. Okay, so now,
Now you're going to hit me with a survey.
yeah, and like I said, this one will be a little bit shorter because we're not going to ask you a million questions about when you would want to use that translation we didn't give you.
Right. Exactly. That I mostly ignored the prior time.
All right, so it'll be easier to
Okay,
answer.
sorry. My earpods here.
Hello?
I'm still here.
Okay, cool. And you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, great.
I don't see the survey though.
Oh, I haven't done that part yet.
Oh, okay.
I was just making sure we had continuous audio. All right, can you see the survey?
Yes,
Okay,
it's
so
quite readable. It's
excellent.
good.
So this was no AI, and this was the try.
Mhm.
And again, I'll agree to the privacy policy. Should probably review it, but
I
okay.
promise we'll take good care of your data.
Yeah, okay. You can say anything you want. I don't know. This one, I'm gonna rate it higher. It was a more complex data structure than the last one. How hurried or rushed. Again, I think this was more of my own making. My initial assessment was that it was a more complex data structure, and so I just needed to go faster to get it all done. But, again, it wasn't horribly complex and didn't, feel rushed. Oh, successful. Okay, and this is again on the inverted scale. Not as confident in the implementation, but we'll see. I still think, it was reasonably close. I would get there with, maybe another 10 minutes. How hard did I have to work to accomplish my level of performance? I think I gave it a 6 last time. Again, there's a little bit more. I had to go and like check Python knowledge, so I'm going to give it, actually, I'll give it a bit more. How insecure, discouraged? Well, not at all. It was not beyond me. Okay, and I'll just treat these as if they were independent. Okay. Actually, this one, just because I had to spend more time looking at it, yeah, I can't still say, a great deal, but I could probably intuit on the board. Um, we'll make this positive. Actually, your one comment at the beginning probably did a ton, right? Just, okay, here's what you use it for. Oh, yeah, okay. Then you could start to see that in the implementation. No, no other feedback.
See, that
All
was
right.
easy.
That
All right, now we
was
have the one final survey,
for sure.
which is to compare and contrast your experience with the two different tests.
Again. I did it. Yeah, okay. Participant ID, P06. And there we go.
So if I'm understanding what you're writing there correctly, you're saying had there been translations provided this time, you might have checked them a couple of times when you got to the more complex parts just to see how the AI did it.
Yeah, so when I'm
Same
checking
form.
about native dictionary functionality,
Right.
right, I might have checked to say, well, how did the AI do that?
Mhm.
Right. And
Like how did it check whether a dictionary was empty, for example?
for example, yeah, is there a native method, or if the AI had the exact thing I ended up doing, I would have said, okay, that's how it's done.
Mhm.
Perhaps putting too much intuitive trust in the AI, but
Sometimes yes.
yeah, if for example, you had written the example code, I would have said, well, somebody else did the exact same thing, so
Right,
we're
right,
probably good.
right.
Safety in numbers. Beyond code translation, what are they?
Yeah. Opportunity to just blue sky, add what kind of AI tools might you see as useful in software development tasks?
Yeah. That's a tough one. I might have to, if I could, reserve the ability to come back. But here, I would. I'm just gonna mea culpa. And this is I'm going to say preferred / expected AI to be more active, and e.g. suggest almost blocks of code, although I'm not sure how it would do that. But blocks of code. Yeah, perhaps that's unrealistic, but
Certainly.
yeah. What other kinds of support would I desire? Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't come up with anything else off the top of my head. Like the translation use case is a good one. I deal with a lot of clients that have, legacy mainframe apps written in long dead or very expensive languages. So I could definitely see this as being useful in that situation.
What kind of
For the rest,
languages
uh,
are you looking for?
like
COBOL to Java translation or something?
no, natural, right? To anything contemporary, so like a 4GL type thing. And there's lots of rule-based translation tools, but they're not perfect and they get lost on the more complex cases where maybe an AI could move that accuracy up a bit more. And then mostly I'm producing new code, and so I'm not sure where else I would see usefulness.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right. If you think of something else and you want to zip me a note, yeah, I'll include it in your file.
Yeah,
If you have
for
any other
sure.
thoughts. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Just to make it easy, because I'm not really sure that I consider myself much of any of these things primarily,
Mhm.
but actually, I dabble in most of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what's your job
So
title?
I'm what's called a client technical lead, so pre-sales technical architect.
Got it.
But I've done things in research, I've done data science, and so it's kind of a broad and deep generalist, right? But,
Got it.
you know what? That's probably closest for the purposes of this work. Have you used as part of your work? Well, yes.
What kind of AI stuff did you use as part of your work?
Um,
Oh, that's the next question.
yeah,
Never
yeah,
mind. I thought I was filling in something that was missing, but
yeah. What do we it's probably
oh,
close
cool.
enough. Oh yeah, it was really neat.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It was fun. It really was.
Yeah.
Have you ever yeah, a very long time ago. Translating, and what were they written in? Man, I can't recall.
Translating to COBOL.
Yes, just to give you an idea.
Assembly language?
I think it was some sort of a proprietary thing.
Okay. I've heard
Like
lots of
this was,
requests for translating from COBOL.
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Right. Again, my client, they get to be unique. PL1 would be an interesting one too.
Yeah.
Because one of my clients has a lot of PL1 code, and it was something where I think they came up with the language definition after they built the compilers. So there's a lot of it's like early JavaScript, right? But once you've got like, super huge bank that's built an application on it, you can't just tighten up the spec. Oh yeah, so sure, this was fun. Like I said, I actually got paid to do this. You got paid to watch me do it. I think everybody.
Yes.
Hey, look at that. We're
That was
done.
great. And you know what? We're not that far off anymore. We
No,
we made up most of the time lost.
yeah. Oh, crap. Oh no, it's still there. Good. Oh, that's the post
Okay.
task. There we go. I was going to take
Now
my
that's closed.
my try and debug it.
Yeah. I can tell you a little bit about what we're doing in the study now. If you want to know. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we can just close it down.
No, absolutely. I want to know.
All right. So there are lots of AI models being developed for code now to do translation, generate documentation, convert natural language to code even. But there hasn't been a lot of work to evaluate whether these are actually useful to software engineers. And particularly for things like imperfect translation. given that, most often if you write some code and it doesn't perform right, you don't think, well, maybe the compiler made a mistake, right? Our tools are pretty close to perfect.
Yep.
Not entirely perfect. I have had to debug compiled code, but that's not your go-to hypothesis when something goes wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were wondering if people would just reject imperfect translations out of hand, or would they make things easier for them, particularly if you imagine you've got to translate 1 million lines or something like that. Would you like something to do a first cut and then you fix it up?
Right.
So that's what we're studying now, comparing how hard it is for somebody to take a translation and work with it versus just do it themselves. And we're trying to get a sense of that.
Yeah.
Most people don't exactly take the path that you took and translate what we gave them when we gave them the AI translation. They usually spend some time looking at the AI translations, pick what they think is the best one, and start with that. And then it's a debugging exercise more than a coding exercise.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's possible that you could look at the AI code and say, this is a bunch of crap, I'm going to do it myself, and that's the end of it, which would be the closest thing to the path that you followed. The real question is, for the ones that aren't rejected out of hand, is it a net win, or like is it easier to debug your own code than the AI's code? So much easier that it's worth it to just write it yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the question that we're studying.
Yeah. So my feedback on that, clearly I misunderstood the task. And my expectation of how the AI factored into this.
Yeah.
I come in expecting some sort of a developer assist type capability, kind of like the Microsoft paperclip.
Right.
Right.
Somebody say, "Oh, look, I think you forgot to put self in there or something."
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or sort of, a dynamic lint type capability that says, hey, I see what you're doing. This is a better way to go about it.
Oh,
And
make some suggestions.
Yeah. And so but more in the larger context of what it can see you're doing versus, kind of code assist that you get out of the editor. It says, here's this method signature, right?
Right.
And again, if the task had been more set up as, I don't know what would have done, but to make it more obvious, the idea is this AI piece, is this useful? I probably would have gone into okay, let's just go and debug it. But when I look at the example class of, this try.py, 90, what did I end up writing? 90 lines of code. You know what? I could probably pound that out and have a fairly clear understanding of what's going on. Whereas if you said, here's 1 million lines of code, I know for a fact, right, some of the things I'm doing with my client, having a reasonably accurate translation, but what would also be integral is that the AI knows where its knowledge ends. So some sort of a confidence interval to say, okay, here's what I think is a good translation of this code block, but somebody better look at it. Because if I now have to go debug 1 million lines of machine-generated code,
you want some attention, focus.
Yeah, I want something that says I'm solid here, not so good there, right? And that's what this natural translation piece that I was just talking about, that's what they do, right? Is they know what causes them problems, so they do it, what's the word here? Discretely, quantitatively, right? Oh, that's a something statement. We never get those right.
I think.
Right. But for the rote stuff, they know with high confidence that the tooling produces good translations. So
Stay closer to.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, what we're doing now is we're building a plugin for VS Code that would connect up to the translation. So rather than providing it, pre-translated, you could like push a button and get the translated code pane up here on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that does is it's going to take all the different alternatives that were being generated and sort of mash them into one and show you these are the regions of the code that were the same for all of the translations, and these are the parts that the AI was unsure about, essentially.
Right.
That these are the parts that were unsure, and these are the various things we considered for that part, and you could select among them and have that substituted in. So you could say, oh, that's not how you do empty, that's how you do empty, and like that, and choose it, or look it up, or
Yeah.
just use that as a sort of an indication of where the confidence is low.
Well, exactly. That would be your confidence indicator right there. And I think
it could even tell you, 4 out of 5 of the translations did it this way, but the 5th one did it that way.
Well, right. And then I could evaluate. But it's interesting because I came at this and I viewed it as a software development type challenge or an engineering challenge.
Mm-hmm.
If it had been positioned as more of a QA, then I would have gone into, whereas back my expectation, I'm going to write code and somehow the AI is going to help, versus evaluating the performance of the AI against that task. But that's
we weren't trying to get you to figure out how bad the AI was. In fact, the AI we gave you was we have a good AI and a bad AI that I purposely brain damaged. And you got the bad one anyway, so maybe you would have been better off.
Maybe
doing it the way you did than starting with what it came out with.
What kind of a approach are you using to build these translation AIs? Like it's I trail off, and this is where you fill in the detail.
Right. We're not really we didn't build the translator. It's actually from Facebook.
Okay.
It's pretty much the state of the art right now, and it's basically using the techniques of natural language translation.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this thing has seen a lot of C and C++ and Java and Python, and it's just learned the statistical patterns, just like the way they train them now on German and English and French and so forth. And so it can sort of ingest something in a language and then put it out in a different language.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of accuracy, if you had to generate 25, at least in the test that they reported, if you had to generate 25 alternative translations, which seems like a lot for a person to go through, particularly presenting them as files, that the right answer would be in among those 25 about almost 70% of the time on those reasonably simple tests that they were putting it on.
Yeah. Okay.
Like right answer in as much as if you ran the test on it, it would pass the test. That level of good. If you only ask for the best solution, that its idea of what the best solution is, maybe it's correct 30% of the time, somewhere around there.
Okay, so it'll function. It may not do it efficiently.
Right. But then we're thinking, well, okay, so if you take those 25 versions and put them through our plugin, and we just highlight the parts where it's considering alternatives, maybe that's the next study that we're going to do. We're going to run people through that with the plugin and see how they do on that. But
okay,
that wasn't ready for this go around, so we're doing the very basic.
No. Well, I'd love to see it when it's ready, and maybe I'll come and I'll be not the rat who couldn't find the cheese, but
like I said, absolutely nobody has finished. No one has finished this. We tried an earlier version and somebody finished and we made it harder. It's basically.
Well, okay. Based on what I felt my speed was with the priority queue.
Yeah.
And if you latched onto, I'll have to go look at the AI stuff.
Mhm.
but it seems like you should be able to finish that in fairly short order, assuming accuracy's reasonably high.
Right, but so yeah, people can just about finish translating it
Yeah.
in the 30 minutes, but to get it debugged, you know, and running on all the test cases and test everything,
Mhm.
nobody's done. Nobody's done
Yeah.
that. A few people have managed to get like, you know, insert to work and you know gotten to the point where you know they put some things in and maybe enumerated them and saw
Yeah.
that, but nobody's gotten, you know, so that's practically where you were.
Yeah, I'm just interested because if I latched onto, well, I'll just copy and paste the AI stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm immediately into that debug cycle, but maybe understanding the code, it just takes that the length of time, right?
Right. Yeah, and some people, I mean, it's interesting seeing, you know, that I've done, I don't know, 5 or 6
Well,
2 hour sessions
at
now.
least 5.
The variation in how people approach it is so wide. Some people spend 15 minutes studying the Java before they, you know, do anything.
Right.
And then some people like practically skip over the Java and then spend 15 minutes going through all the different alternatives and trying to keep track of, well, this one did this and this one did that. And then some people just like say, oh, I'm going to just I'm going to take the first alternative
Yeah.
translation. Let me start debugging that.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I look forward to seeing the study when it's done.
Well,
We'll
thank
go
you
from there.
again so much for your participation. This is really going to be helpful to us. We're going to send you 250 blue points as a token of our appreciation
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
for what it's worth, which is about
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah, maybe that'll be enough to get me to that new toaster.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Thanks. All right,
And
Steve.
yeah, thanks a lot. Have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
Thanks,
Bye.
Chris.